back. As you can read from the title, this is not a rant. I actually really enjoyed this movie. Um, Even for an R rating, there's some pretty gruesome stuff in this. Now I want to see what the unrated version is like because damn, there's some pretty gruesome stuff in here. Now it's not gory, but the stuff that they do to the poor guy is gruesome. Like just the thought of it. Um, what this is about, this guy by the name of Brent, played by Xavier Samuel or Samuel, however you want to pronounce it. Apparently, he is acted in Twilight, which, sorry, I just don't think vampires should sparkle, and vampires don't feel emotions. Um, it says brutal, bloody, and black as all hell. Um, Pretty much, Brent is kind of a loner. Uh, he just comes home, goes to school, comes home, goes to school, and hangs out with his girlfriend. And his mother is very overprotective of him because I'm not spoiling anything here. It's at the start of the film. Brent is talking with his father, and then all of a sudden you see this man going across the road with cuts on his stomach and a big heart cut into his body, and then Brent swerves to get out of the way, and he crashes into a tree, I think. Uh, I watched this movie a couple days ago, um, and I still remember some of the gruesome stuff in it. So uh, Brent's father gets killed, and the rest of the movie takes place 6 months later. It's prom time. I forget what his friend's name is, but Brent's friend uh, decides to ask the goth girl out. Well, not really goth, but not emo, but she wears black makeup. She's like a kick-ass chick, you might want to say. Uh, but anyways, the friend asks the girlfriend, not girlfriend, the goth girl out, and the goth girl says yes. Um, so pretty much it goes back and forth between the prom and Lola's version of the prom. So, anyways, Brent gets asked out to the dance by Lola. Now, Lola seems pretty nice. She she doesn't strike you as a strange girl. She looks like the silent type. Doesn't really get out much. But ooh boy, when she loves somebody, she's willing to do anything. Doesn't matter if she's gonna kill you or not. She's going to find some way for you to love her better. So, uh, pretty much what's next? Brent is in his. Oh, Brent says no to Lola, by the way, because he's going with his girlfriend Holly. And it cuts to the scene. It's just like a random cut. Uh, Brent is in the car, in his girlfriend's car with his girlfriend, and she's like riding him and everything, and I'm like, oh man. And I was watching this with my mother, and just seeing big boobs all across the screen, I'm just like, oh my lord. But I saw the movie on the internet, so it didn't really bother me then. But my mom actually sat down and watched this with me. I wanted her to check out this film. Um, so they're having sex, and Brent's like, "Guess who asked me to prom?" And she starts doing all these sexy moves on him, and trying to get it out of him who asked him out, and his girlfriend ends up giving him a blowjob. Now we don't see the cock in the mouth or anything like that, thankfully, but he's rubbing on the window like, oh, and Lola is just staring at him like she's got that really pissed off look on her face. And so Brent is given a ride home from his girlfriend, and Brent decides he wants to go to the park. Just wants to chill and relax for a little bit before prom. But then a man comes up. I think he puts chloroform inside a washcloth and goes like this to Brent. Pretend I have a person's head in my hands, and just pretty much knocks him out. And from that moment on, we get some bloody, gruesome stuff. I'm going to keep on using the word gruesome because that's the best way to describe this. The first form, it doesn't seem so bad, but at the same time pretty bad at the same time. Lola takes a syringe, fills it up with, I think, dish cleaner, like stuff to wash your sinks and everything, ends up stabbing it into Brent's neck, and she's just like, we can't hear you, because for some reason it makes him not being able to scream really loud. But then again, I'm not really into syringes and everything. But anyways, we get feet cutting, like a knife getting driven through the feet. We get other stuff too. We get a neck slice. We get Brett thrown out of a tree. Lola throws a rock at him, hits his head, and bops him. The acting is pretty good. I liked it. For some reason, I cannot hate this film. Like, I hate torture films, but for some reason, this one has a special place in my heart. I thought it was thoroughly enjoyable. People said it was funny at points. I didn't laugh once at it. Like, I laughed at one scene, and it's the scene where the goth girl is riding Brent's friend. I thought that was a pretty funny scene because the principal ends up walking up and knocking on the window and saying, when I said to go someplace else to do that, I did not mean on school property, and I meant leave the school property. And I just cracked up laughing. The music, it's alright. I'm not really into pop music, but there is a song that got stuck in my head, and I'm like, get it out. It goes like, am I not pretty enough? And pretty much that's the name of the song, Am I Not Pretty Enough? It's pretty much Lola's song. Now, Robin McClavey didn't sing it or anything, but it's like her song. She wants to have it playing at her dream wedding. And sadly, Brent becomes a frog. Not really an actual frog, but she wants her prince. She wants her knight in shining armor. And I can understand, like, you want to be loved really badly, but the way she shows her love is just, ugh. And Brent happens to not be her true love, throws him in a pit, and we end up finding out they've been abducting people left and right. Her father and Lola have been abducting men left and right ever since she was a little girl, and throwing them in this pit boiling their brain, not like boiling their brain while it's outside the skull, but like literally drilling through the head, but not hitting the brain with the drill so it doesn't kill them, and then making the hole really big, like about this big, maybe a little bit smaller, um, and taking hot water, boiling water, and pouring it into the skull, boiling the brain and turning them into cannibals. And I'm like, what? How how does how does that turn you into a cannibal? I mean, I granted it's going to fuck up your head, of course. It's pretty much going to make you a vegetable, but for some reason, it's making them fully functional as cannibals. Um, but other than that, I had a blast watching it. Um, on a scale of 1 to 10 hatchets, what do I give it? It is definitely a truly demented masterpiece. Um, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Not the most perfect movie, it did drag at points, but most of the movie is actually really gruesome, really fun, and I couldn't help myself but have kind of a crush on Lola. I guess I'm into the bad girls, like the girls who are kind of evil and sadistic and whatnot. Now, I'm not into S&M or anything like that, but I do like a girl who can kick some ass. And Lola is pretty much a spoiled brat, but in a sadistic kind of way. And this does not need a sequel, so please, who made this? Paramount. Please, for the love of God, Paramount, do not make a sequel to this. It's perfect just the way it is. Not a perfect film, but it does not need a sequel. Now, here's a film I'd like to see a sequel to. Silent Night, even though it's a remake. But, Loved Ones, we do not need a sequel to it. And it ends without a sequel bait ending, which you don't see that in a lot of horror movies these days. Most horror movies, they uh, end on a sequel bait ending. Like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake ended in a sequel bait ending. The original Nightmare on Elm Street ended in sequel bait endings. The Friday the 13th ended in sequel bait endings. Michael Myers, Halloween, those didn't really end in sequel bait endings. The first one did, though. But the second movie didn't. The fourth movie, pretty much, you'd think Jamie was going to be the killer, but then the fifth one came out and that was a piece of shit. But this movie is not a piece of shit. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I recommend it to all of you horror fans out there. And if anybody's wondering why I put this as 2009, is because the movie was made and released in Australia in 2009. It's an Australian film. It was released in 2009 in Australia, but over here in the States, it was released in 2012. But I'm gonna put it as the date it was originally released. Well, the year it was originally released, 2009. So yeah, definitely check this out. Don't know if I showed the back. There's Daddy, Lola's dad, and her mother is known as Bright Eyes. There's Brent, and I think that's Holly. Yep, Holly. I think all the cast did a wonderful job, especially Xavier Samuel. He didn't say a whole lot of stuff throughout the movie, but with his facial expressions, you could feel his pain, and you were hoping and praying that he'd get out of the predicament he was in. But if you know how horror movies go, especially the good ones, you'll know how this ends. Uh, it's definitely a good ending. Not a sequel bait ending, so that should give you a hint on how it ends. So, anyways, hopefully you all enjoyed my review of The Loved Ones. Um, if they do make a sequel, I'll review it, but I seriously do not, under any circumstances, fuck no. I do not want to see a sequel to this. So, yeah, it's a good movie for what it is, but it does not need a sequel. There's plenty of movies out there, good movies, great movies, that deserve sequels and don't get them, but a bunch of pieces of shit, not counting this, because this is a really good movie, like I said, but other movies are getting sequels left and right. The remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, I don't mind it. I'm alone on this. Like, most of my friends hate the remake, but I couldn't help but liking it. But it's getting a sequel. Doesn't deserve one. We do not need to reboot the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. And Jackie Earle Haley has a southern drawl accent, like for his Freddy Krueger, he likes them biscuits, gravy, and mashed potatoes. Sorry if I sound racist, but that's how he sounds. And he looks like an alien, but they wanted to make it look more realistic, and I'm like, that doesn't even look even more realistic than uh, the original Freddy. And the original Freddy was modeled after burnt pizza, apparently. And that's an iconic look right there, and you just ruined an iconic look for an iconic character. So, anyways, that's my review of The Loved Ones, and I had a little bit of a rambling there, but anyways, hopefully you all enjoyed. I'm Psychopath1c, signing off. Peace.